If you're into landscape photography, I think you should really stick around for this video, because the tip that I'm going to share with you today is going to be just like in the title. It's going to be mind-blowing, but only if you put it to practice. So stick around and find out what it's all about. When I was a beginner photographer, my purpose was to take as many photos as possible in a location. I didn't care about the thinking process or the philosophy behind it. But now, after many years of practicing landscape photography as a full-time job, I'm thinking, or I'm placing more importance on the actual experience. And not after taking many photos during one trip. If I take only one photo, it's good enough for me. But what I try to do is to make a photo consciously. I try to plan it, think about it. I try to immerse myself in the landscape. The experience of being here and plus capturing nature in a photo forms a complete whole, which is much more important than just walking around and taking photos. So today is going to be maybe a little bit a video that's a little bit different, that will speak more about the reasons behind taking a photo and the experience that you're having in nature. And when you're going to understand that this is not just you taking photos, but more of you experiencing nature and taking just a small part of nature back with you home in a photo, that moment will change the way you look at landscape photography and maybe nature in general. Landscape photography is something that you see with your eyes, you understand it with your mind, and you feel it with your heart. If one of these three elements is missing, something will miss from your photos. As you can see behind me, there are some sheep, and that's the beauty of nature in Romania. People are still connecting with nature. They're still doing things the old ways. What I'm trying to do in this video is to make you think more about the photo that you're going to take during one photo trip, not the photos. Is to make you think about the reasons that you're going to take one photo. And this thinking process will put a lot more value on your photo than taking 100 photos, because that photo will mean something to you. That photo will represent something and will be significant to you, and you will remember the moment, the thoughts, the actual feeling of you being in nature and taking that photo. I had to put on a rain jacket because it started to rain. I received a weather alert that it's going to be storms, but until now everything looks okay. So I'm just enjoying the place only to myself, because if it's raining, slightly raining, nobody will be around. So that's the way I like it. As you can see over here, I position myself in a manner like this. So I'm having the light coming from my left, and then I'm having these beautiful trees with visible roots, and this rock and the small creek that goes in the distance. So I'm having a frame inside the frame, so the trees from this side form the right side of the frame, and then I have that area over there which is the left side, and it's gonna create a triangle shape in the upper part of the photo that I think will look really well. Now I also have to decide if I'm going to use the polarizer, and I'll have to experiment with it. Sometimes if you use the polarizer in a situation like this, you lose visibility of the water. So I don't know if I'm going to use it today. I don't know if you can hear the rain, but it's such a wonderful sound, such a calming sound. The settings of the photo are 1.3 seconds, ISO 100 and f11. And as you can look at the photo, you will notice that I used the polarizer, and I'm having those trees on both sides of the photo in order for the viewer to be focused in the distance. Now I have a little bit of light coming from the left and some light in the background, and I accentuated the light in the background just to have a more clear journey through the photo. It rains again, and I'm sitting here waiting for a little break in the rain to go to that side of the forest. It looks a lot better, the light is a lot better. Over here I'm going to photograph from under this tree. It offers a good starting point. I'm starting my photo into darkness, and I'm moving the attention of the viewer further away towards the light. I'm seeing the sky, and I know the contrast between the sky, the luminosity of the sky, and the rest of the forest is too big, so I will not include the sky in this photo. Again, I'm going to use the dark trunks as guardians of the photo and creating a frame inside the frame. And I talk a lot about this in my ebook about landscape photography. If you're interested, the link is in the description of this video. I'm also having some trees in the distance, and it's going to be a play of zigzag between the trunks of the trees to emphasize and to put in perspective the depth of the image. The settings for this photo are 1/8 of a second, ISO 100 and f11. As you can see, the tripod is absolutely necessary in any moment of the day. Now the problem from today is going to be the sun, not the rain. It's okay if it rains, but not okay if the sun comes out of the clouds, because in that moment the forest will be beautiful to walk in, but not beautiful to photograph. Okay, let's explore the area some more. As I said, let nature come to you and show the beauty of its location. Don't try to force it, try to look for it in a spiritual way, and believe me, it's going to pay a lot more. It's going to be a lot more interesting to do landscape photography at that particular point. This trail behind me, it's one of the elements that will make you like forests and forest photography in particular. I think the reason is related to the light. And whenever you're stepping from an area of darkness towards an area of light, I don't know why, but as a person, you tend to have a really pleasant feeling about it. The settings are 0.4 seconds, again f11 and ISO 100. If you look at the composition, it starts with a really dark element to the left. I have light to the right of the photo. So I'm not going to include a darker element over there simply because it would disrupt the continuity of the image. I have light has to pour in the image undisturbed, and the attention of the viewer has to stop to the left. Now in terms of depth, you see I've included the trail, small trees that are getting smaller and smaller, and you have a hint of depth, a hint of things going away from you. And I think this creates a really beautiful and compelling photograph. I think landscape photography is not all about settings and gear. Yes, you start with settings. Yes, you need a camera, you need lenses, you need a tripod, you need filters. But that is just, I don't know, 5%, 10%, 20%. The majority and the value of the photo comes from inside you. As I told you, you see the image with your eye, you interpret it with your mind, and you feel it with your heart. And that is where the magic happens. That is why some photographers create compelling images, and you look at those images and you say, wow, I want to go there. I want to be in that location. And other photographers just create snapshots. And the reason for that, in my personal belief, is this spiritual connection with nature and this effort of the landscape photographer to connect with nature and to present to the viewer a little bit more than just a simple image. Now, if you have something to add, use the comment section below. My ebook and my workshops are in the comments, are in the description of this video. Until next time, keep on photographing, because it's the only way that you can get better.